Solid, nigga. These niggas solid, nigga. We kept it G. We traumatized about this shit, my nigga. For real, nigga, I really went through it. Nigga, you nigga better watch our mouth when y'all say a nigga name, cuz I was facing 20 plus or 20 plus another 20 plus life, nigga. Never told it, never folded, nigga. All my shit add up.
Pooh Shiesty, Lontrell Williams gave up no one. Absolutely no one. We never cooperated with the government whatsoever. The paperwork that he's reading is that our defense was that we blamed the alleged victims, that the victims were trying to hold up and rob Pooh and his crew, and that's why the guns came out.
Poche crossed paths with Wack100 face-to-face and checked him straight up over being labeled a snitch, and that moment kicked off a chain reaction nobody saw coming. This situation is wild, but it's way deeper than surface-level noise, and most people completely miss the bigger picture. What's really going on here flips the whole narrative, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. Wack100 has been applying non-stop pressure on Pooh Shiesty, putting his name in the mix and claiming street code violations. The chatter hasn't stopped either. The street's been buzzing heavy about it, and the tension keeps building. But this isn't about some basic paperwork talk or a typical situation people are used to hearing about. Here's where things take a sharp turn. Wack isn't even talking about direct cooperation the way most people imagine it. He's pointing at something way more slick, something most folks don't even realize counts in the streets. To understand it, you gotta look at the case everyone keeps dancing around. This all ties back to that incident where Pooh Shiesty and his crew allegedly linked up with some guys for what was supposed to be a clean exchange: weed, codeine, and sneakers. On paper, it looked simple, but everything spiraled fast when things went sideways during the meet. One wrong move, and suddenly everybody's lives changed. According to Wack100, Pooh Shiesty never directly gave up anyone himself. Instead, the heat comes from what happened inside the courtroom. The people on the other side told authorities they didn't have any weapons at all. No straps, no nothing. That was their story. But Pooh Shiesty's defense team, led by attorney Bradford Cohen, came in swinging hard. They told the court those claims weren't true and said they had proof to back it up. That's where the situation cracked wide open. The lawyer presented evidence showing the other side not only had weapons, but there was a full firearm case in the trunk with ammo to match. Because that info proved the other side wasn't being honest, the sentence got chopped down hard. From a possible 10 years to under 5. That legal win changed everything, but it also lit a fuse. Wack100 went off, and when he explained street rules, he doesn't soften a thing. He said the code says you can't tell law enforcement someone pulled a weapon on you first.
Identifying the girl, and he's identifying that they're going to rob some niggas, and he identified the 2 niggas that got robbed and the one that got unalive. He's collaborating the police story. Press play. Nigga, argue with yourself.
Even if that's exactly what happened. No police, no DA, no judge, nobody with a badge gets that info. In his eyes, once that courtroom info came out, it crossed the line. He believes that giving authorities details about weapons, even when it's about the other side, counts as cooperating in the streets. That's why this situation keeps exploding, and why opinions are split right down the middle. Wack100 didn't stop there. He doubled down and broke the whole thing apart piece by piece. He explained it like this: if I pull up somewhere, things pop off, and someone flashes a weapon first, even if I defend myself and still get caught later, the street code says I can't run back and explain that part to authorities. Not to the police, not to the DA, not to nobody. Those are the rules, whether people like them or not. Now, once Bradford Cohen, Pooh Shiesty's lawyer, heard Wack talking like this, he jumped into defense mode fast. He hit a live stream with DJ Akademiks to clap back and protect his client. But here's where it went completely sideways, because instead of clearing things up, he ended up backing Wack's whole argument without realizing it. Cohen straight up explained that the paperwork showed their defense strategy was to point the finger back at the alleged victims. He said the claim was that those individuals tried to set Pooh Shiesty and his crew up, and that's what caused weapons to come into play. The other side told authorities they never had any weapons at all. Not then, not ever. But Cohen admitted that through their own investigation, they found proof saying otherwise. He explained that the alleged victims not only owned weapons, but had a full firearm case in the trunk loaded with ammunition. Just like that, he confirmed that the defense told the court the other side wasn't being honest about being unarmed. Then Cohen went even further and explained that's exactly why the sentence got cut down heavy, from a possible 10 years to under 5. Once that clip hit the internet, Wack100 lost it completely. He said, "You just admitted the other side told authorities they had nothing, and your whole defense was telling law enforcement they actually did have weapons." From Wack's point of view, that crosses the line every time. He made it clear that the street code doesn't reward explanations, even when they're true. The streets don't tell the truth to the system, period. Things got disrespectful fast after that. Bradford Cohen brushed Wack off, called him slow, and accused him of chasing attention. He really thought he embarrassed Wack publicly, but instead, he handed him everything he needed to keep pushing the narrative. Wack fired back hard. He said, "You're calling me names, but you just proved the whole point. You just gave the exposers exactly what they needed to keep digging. And once Wack100 feels played, he doesn't let it go." He revealed that people around him, especially someone known as Ghost, have been leading the charge behind the scenes. Ghost and his team have been digging through documents, pulling records, and feeding Wack evidence tied to this whole situation. According to Wack, Ghost uncovered paperwork that Bradford Cohen was supposed to send over months ago, documents that never showed up. That raised serious questions. Why promise paperwork and never deliver it? What was really being avoided? Wack said once he saw what Ghost uncovered, it all made sense.
Pooh Shiesty, Lontrell Williams gave up no one. Absolutely no one. We never cooperated with the government whatsoever. The paperwork that he's reading is that our defense was that we blamed the alleged victims, that the victims were trying to hold up and rob Pooh and his crew, and that's why the guns came out. The victim said, "I don't have a gun, I never owned a gun," and through our investigation and the evidence, we found not only did he own a gun, he had a firearm box in the trunk with ammunition in the trunk. Both of these alleged victims were total liars, totally full of shit. And that's why, instead of getting 10 years, the judge gave him under 5 years for a shooting case. Not because of any kind of, he cooperated. He didn't cooperate with shit.
And then about a month later, Pooh Shiesty finally decided he'd had enough of the accusations. He jumped online and posted his own paperwork, showing he was once facing up to 60 years to life in federal court. According to him, that case was handled clean. No one got pointed at, no names dropped, nothing like that. The paperwork showed a massive superseding indictment, thousands of pages deep, and Pooh Shiesty made it clear he stood tall through all of it. His message was simple. I was facing serious time, and I never gave anyone up. So how am I being labeled like this? That's where the streets started getting split right down the middle, because Wack100 came back and said people are mixing up two totally different situations. He claims the paperwork Pooh Shiesty shared was from a separate federal case, not the one tied to the lawyer situation. And if that's true, then this whole thing just got way more strategic than anyone thought. Wack basically said, I guarantee you he didn't show the full proffer. He made it clear he doesn't care about stacks of pages or long explanations. All he's looking for is one line: proof of cooperation with authorities. That's it. No games, no distractions, no smoke screens. Wack also pointed out something people don't talk about enough: Pooh Shiesty's upbringing. His father is known as a respected OG in the streets, someone who lived by strict principles and raised his son with those same codes. That's why these accusations hit harder than usual. If anything crossed the line, even indirectly, it wouldn't just be about music, it would cut straight into family honor. He explained that in street culture, that rule isn't flexible. OGs don't play about it ever. There have been real situations where fathers cut ties with their own sons over cooperation. So with Pooh Shiesty's dad being well respected, the damage from these claims feels amplified. Wack even said he knows his father personally and holds him in high regard. That's what makes this situation even messier. He's not just speaking on some random artist. He's talking about the son of someone he knows and respects, which adds another layer of tension to everything.
Something to clear a part up. He gave me his word, and I knew if he said it, it was either gonna clear it or it was gonna show some shit.
So what? You trying to say that Big Bird ain't solid? What?
No, what I'm saying is, all day today, I've been down there. Me and R&B had a meet down there with this company called Echo, which is gonna be some crazy shit. I gotta plug you into that. But and throughout the day, as you see, look, you see what they've been sending me. The exposer's been at work. I don't know what triggered them. But you look, they start, bro, look. They send in the paperwork. You see what they saying?
What?
You gonna read what they saying? They send in the attachment PDF. I haven't had a chance to look at it.
Why?
But come tomorrow,
He gotta be solid. He the only nigga who shot a nigga over a pair of Jordans and shot a security guard because he keep his own fire in the club and he came back. He came back no.
What really has people scratching their heads is how quiet this has all been kept. Pooh Shiesty has continued building his image, pushing that authentic street persona and rapping about loyalty and codes without blinking. If Wack's claims are accurate, then maintaining that image takes a whole different meaning. Wack then shared a personal story to explain how deep this code runs. He talked about being barely a teenager and facing a serious case he had nothing to do with. He said authorities tried to pressure him by claiming others pointed fingers at him, but he refused to say anything back. He told them to book him and send him back. No explanations given. That's the level of discipline he says the streets expect. He admitted he could have named names and walked away easier, but that's not how this life works. You know the risks before you step in, so you accept them. And if these accusations really stick, the fallout could be brutal. We're talking about an artist whose entire brand is built on street authenticity, survival stories, and loyalty. If that foundation cracks, everything built on top of it starts shaking hard. If that code really got crossed, even in a sideways, indirect way, the streets might never let it go. We've seen this movie before, and it usually doesn't end well. Once that label sticks, careers stall, support dries up, and respect disappears fast. In hip-hop and street culture, credibility is the currency, and once it's gone, getting it back is almost impossible. That's what makes this whole thing hit harder. Pooh Shiesty built his image on being really about that life. His music talks about confrontations, moving product, and standing firm on street principles. But if cooperation happened through legal channels, even unintentionally, then everything people believe starts feeling shaky. What really stands out here is the clash between legal survival and street expectations. From a courtroom perspective, Bradford Cohen did what lawyers are paid to do: find leverage and reduce time. That's a win in the legal world. But in the streets, giving authorities information that helps their case, no matter how strategic, crosses a line. That puts artists in a brutal position. Do you listen to your lawyer and protect your future, or stick to street rules and risk heavier consequences? Either choice comes with a cost. It's a lose-lose setup that shows how messy modern street politics have become. Wack100 didn't sugarcoat it either. He said straight up, some of these street rules don't even make sense. They're harsh, irrational, and unforgiving. But once you choose that lifestyle, those are the terms that come with it. And this isn't Wack's first time calling things out. He's been pulling curtains back in the industry for years. He doesn't usually speak unless he feels solid about what he's looking at. When he points fingers, it's normally backed by paperwork, inside info, or both. Wack made it clear he's not guessing or speculating. He said he's going strictly off what he's reading, nothing more. According to him, the information is right there in black and white. He even went a step further and challenged anyone to take legal action if he's wrong. He explained that once a civil case gets filed, everything comes to light. No hiding, no selective pages, no quiet deals. If he was lying, court would force the truth out. And that's why he keeps asking, why hasn't anyone sued yet? That silence speaks loud. If someone thought there was easy money on the table, they'd jump at it. But the moment a lawsuit starts, every document gets opened. That's the pressure move Wack is playing. Meanwhile, DJ Akademiks has been caught right in the middle of all this. When Bradford Cohen jumped on his stream, Akademiks was there as the lawyer laid out details that lined up with Wack's claims. Later, when Wack called in himself, you could hear the shift in tone. There was respect there. Akademiks knows Wack's history and has watched him expose situations before. He even told Wack, "You're making sense today," which says a lot. That moment showed even neutral voices are starting to see why this situation isn't as simple as people want it to be. What makes this whole situation even crazier is how it exposes where street politics and hip-hop are sitting right now. Wack100 has been saying for years that the old rules barely exist anymore. He's been telling people straight up that cooperation has become way more common and that the streets, as folks once knew them, are fading fast. He's even said that's why so many people are folding now, because the code isn't being enforced the same way. If that's true, then what allegedly happened with Pooh Shiesty isn't just one isolated moment, it's part of a much bigger shift. Even if the streets themselves aren't moving how they used to, the image of following those rules still matters heavy in hip-hop. Fans still expect artists to stand on certain principles, even if those principles aren't being followed behind closed doors. One of the biggest pushbacks Wack faced was people accusing him of selective politicking, basically saying he picks and chooses when street rules apply depending on who he likes or respects. Wack addressed that head-on and said he's not moving biased at all. He explained that he wanted to hear statements from the other side before locking in his final opinion. But then he said something that made people pause. He admitted that if Pooh Shiesty had been a full-blown enemy, he'd probably be pushing the issue even harder and letting the internet tear it apart. That moment showed something important. Personal relationships absolutely influence how these situations get handled. And that's what really shows how complicated modern street politics have become. Back in the day, the line was clear. Either you gave testimony against someone or you didn't. Simple. Now, with legal teams getting more creative, those lines are blurred all over the place. If a lawyer tells the court the other side had weapons to reduce a sentence, does that violate traditional street code? According to the old rules, yes. In the legal world, though, that's just smart defense strategy. And that clash is where a lot of young artists get stuck. This situation also highlights how the internet flipped everything upside down. Instead of quiet conversations behind the scenes, everything plays out live now. Lawyers jump on streams, paperwork gets posted online, and street debates turn into public content in real time. Imagine the pressure Pooh Shiesty is under right now. He's trying to protect his image while facing non-stop allegations from someone as connected as Wack100. There's pressure from his team, his family, and the streets all pulling him in different directions. Posting his federal paperwork was clearly an attempt to take control of the story. But if Wack is right, and that paperwork is tied to a completely different case, then Pooh Shiesty might be stuck in a no-win position. He can't directly address the specific claims without opening new doors he might not want open. That's what makes this whole situation so wild. No clear exits, no easy explanations, and the internet watching every move like a hawk. So here's where everything lands. You've got Pooh Shiesty trying to protect his street image while heavy accusations from Wack100 keep circling his name. You've got a lawyer whose courtroom moves may have helped legally but sparked chaos in the streets. And you've got the culture watching closely, trying to figure out what's real and what's smoke in all this madness. If these claims hold any weight, then Pooh Shiesty has been walking a tightrope the whole time, keeping things quiet, staying low, and still pushing a career built on street authenticity is a risky play. And history shows the truth usually finds daylight, especially when someone like Wack100 refuses to let anything slide. The real question is simple but heavy. Can Pooh Shiesty survive this pressure and keep his momentum going? Or does this mark a turning point for how the streets view him? Because once credibility gets questioned, it's hard to erase that stain. What makes it even messier is the era we're living in. The old street rules are shifting, but the expectations haven't moved an inch. Artists are stuck between two worlds. The legal world, where strategy is survival, and the street world, where that same strategy gets you labeled. That clash is exactly why this situation feels so intense. One move can protect your freedom, but damage your reputation. Another move can protect your image, but cost you everything else. There's no clean exit here. And that's the full breakdown of this absolutely wild situation. If you caught something new, or this made you think differently, smash that like button right now. Drop your thoughts in the comments and let it be known where you stand. Make sure you subscribe and share this with someone who stays locked into celebrity drama. And don't go anywhere. Tap the next video on your screen right now for even more chaos, more breakdowns, and more stories the internet can't stop talking about. I'll catch you on the next one.